ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the offensive side of the list. Top 10 squads in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Heavy Grand Arena focus, especially with how important Grand Arena is. And of course, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Gom, joining me over there. How you doing, Gom?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Dude, I'm great. We appreciate you joining these videos. Guys, if you guys have not seen Gom's content, link is down below in the description to Operation Metaverse. Just really amazing GAC content, which is why I've handpicked Gom out of the YouTube interwebs to join us and endow us with his knowledge. So we appreciate you joining, Gom.
Hey, thanks for having me, as always, man. These are a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right. So, number 10 on the list. Now, a quick side note, just so you guys know. Instead of just telling you guys who the top 10 squads are, we're also giving you a little more information about these squads today. So, for example, Traya is in at number 10 for the offensive list. And we're going to give you guys some ideas of teams that Traya tends to beat. And we'll do that for every team. So, Traya, usually used for Mon Mothma squads or bugs, but also beating those dash squads, which I think a big bonus. I don't know how reliable that is, but according to .gg, it's happening pretty consistently.
Well, yes, but right now, it's looking pretty consistent because the people that have dash teams are your higher GP players, which also have very high relic Sith Triumvirate teams. So do keep that in mind.
Yeah, don't be under gearing that.
Yeah, you're not going to go and beat a relic dash team with your Gear 12 Nihilus. That's not going to happen. But we mentioned in the defensive squads, dash actually is on the list now. Mon Mothma, I think 7 and 8 they are respectively. So this team can take them both out. For you, a smaller GP player is always a good answer against bugs. You can undersize it. I would put Marauder and Savage because the premise of this team is to stop the multi-attack, assisting, countering sort of teams. So you're going to wear them down to low health from them countering and assisting out of turns, and both Savage and Marauder can just finish them off when they get low. So very, very good team for those types of situations.
Love to see it. All right, number 9, we got Bad Batch. And a big, huge bonus of Bad Batch, if you've got them developed enough, is beating Omicron Qui-Gon Jinn teams. Grievous and Zam Bounty Hunters can also be beat. I think it depends on the modding for Zam. I'm curious to see what your experience is with using Bad Batch against Zam Bounty Hunters with the Omicron.
I have none. I've only seen one Zam on defense thus far, but we're only 10 matches in. So I think over time we will slowly see Echo start moving up the priority list in terms of speed and people's rosters. The faster Echo is, the more teams you can beat with it. Especially now we talked about Talon on the Darth Revan team with Sith Empire Trooper. That's 5 buffs the opposing team's going to start with. So if Echo goes before that team, that's 25% turn meter for all of your Bad Batch. You can just get them rocking and rolling. So
not to mention leading off with that AoE daze can just stifle a team if they can't cleanse it quick.
So this is a team I think it's going to be on this list. It might be towards the bottom because there's some pretty stellar teams, but I think this team's going to be in there for quite some time.
Some stellar teams indeed. Number 8, we got Troopers showing up at number 8. And I think a big reason why they're still kind of edging out Bad Batch is that viability to beat Darth Revan. And I don't have Lord Vader here listed as something that they beat because it's not super reliable, but they can beat Lord Vader teams when modded properly. It's huge. They can beat a lot.
Well, I think they're listed higher than Bad Batch simply because the game, for us old folks that play the game like you and I, we got some of the crappy characters, but now they're giving out Moff Gideon and Dark Trooper for free to brand new players, right? So this is something that new players can see and be like, hey, maybe this team's worth working, and it definitely is. Dark Trooper is amazing. Very good raid team too, so definitely get your troopers done.
Absolutely. All right, number 7, we got the Zam Bounty Hunters. And look, these guys can beat Darth Revan and Gas. Need I say more? I mean, if you are taking Bounty Hunters in against a Gas team or a Darth Revan team, that is a massive win right out the gate for you. I mean, that frees up so much in your roster to use elsewhere.
Yeah, it's just all around. She's super flexible. The Omicron with Zam is unique, so you can plug and play her whichever Bounty Hunters you have left, and they can probably beat something. So makes the team very, very fast, very, very durable, especially under Boss Lead. They are incredibly difficult to kill with her unique. They give 60% protection to health. So very, very tough to take them down. Good banner team with a variety of the leads. So
absolutely. And with the RNG not really knowing what to do with that, it's really great on offense. A good defensive team as well, but I think it just having that offensive viability against Darth Revan and Gas is a big reason why we put them on this list. We've moved CLS to offense. CLS beats Gas, JTR with the Bros, Zam Bounty Hunters, Bad Batch. A lot of teams that you can beat with CLS. This was kind of your call, Gom. So defend it. Why are we moving CLS from defense to offense here?
Well, because it beats both the new sexy Omicrons, right? It beats Dash too. If you have a really good C, like beats all the Omicrons basically. If your opponent puts Qui-Gon Jinn on defense without any sort of tank, it can beat Qui-Gon Jinn as well. You can just stun Anakin, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it beats all the new Omicrons just all around. We talked about in the defensive video. There are variations for the Grievous team with BB-8 and some of the other droids. This team can beat those. Just very very versatile, and it's not a bad option to kill off single. Like if you happen to leave, a GL standing, they got a good shot against them, and the troopers have a good shot at killing a solo GL, which is well worth the full team, in my opinion.
Whenever I have CLS in my back pocket, I just feel more comfortable. There's just so much flexibility there. All right, moving on to number 5. We have got let's move us over here. We got Maul showing up here on offense. I think one of the best offensive teams in the game. He's beating Gas, Dash, Mando, Darth Revan teams, and you don't need him to be with your Lord Vaders. I think you're going to get plenty of defensive viability with Lord Vader if you do have him, and you can kind of carve out Maul as his own offensive team. What are your thoughts, Gom?
I use him every Grand Arena for whatever. Then, like you mentioned, having CLS in your pocket to get to the back zone. If you can get to the back zone with CLS and Maul in your pocket, you're in good shape. Especially like we've got Django on here. You could easily move if you have Watt available. Yep. Watt and Maul. I
use Watt.
Yeah, I can't think of a non-GL team that it doesn't beat. Like it's phenomenal. It's expensive because it does have some of the more obscure characters like Armor, Ordo. And things of that nature. So, the more developed rosters will also have, Imperial Super Commando and Garth Saxon available, but that's not feasible for the masses, nor should it be something you're going after. But this team is very, very strong.
And I'm using this. I actually put IG-11 in with my Maul just to have a tank in there because I don't really have a good Mando team at all. And I'm still flying through teams really well with my Maul, even without optimal teams. So he just adds so much there. Omicron Qui-Gon Jinn. Look, I was a big fan of Omicron Qui-Gon Jinn on defense, and I do think he still is a good defensive team, but it just feels like we've figured out a lot of options for him now that he's been in the game long enough, and the viability that he brings to the table, being able to beat Darth Revan, being able to beat CLS, SOKR potentially, maybe being a last-ditch effort against a GL if you're undermanned against GLs, gas teams. There's just a lot of offensive draw to having your Qui-Gon Jinn there. For me, he's kind of like my contingency plan. If things go south, I've got my Qui-Gon Jinn there to clean up big teams. Otherwise, he's going to fly through everyone else for high banners.
Well, the problem defensively with him is that are you really willing to sacrifice, if you have Kenobi and Jedi Master Luke, are you really willing to sacrifice the strength of those teams to amp up your Qui-Gon team? The answer is probably no. So, your Qui-Gon with Anakin and a bunch of leftover Jedi isn't going to fool anybody on defense, but offensively, you're controlling it, and it's a completely different story. Yeah. So he can beat so much. That Anakin AOE is disgusting underneath that Qui-Gon lead. So it's you can take out a whole team in one turn. So it's pretty awesome.
I have really. I also just like it on offense, so I can actually enjoy it myself instead of just seeing a hold. Which I got holds with him when I was putting him on defense, but I'm having a lot of fun with him on offense. Sith Eternal. We know what Sith Eternal does. Solo non-GLs. Basically, any non-GL team is going to be soloed by him. You put Watt in there with him, and you're golden. Going to beat Rays. Going to beat JMLs. Not really a whole lot to say about that. But here's SLKR. Ray, Sith Eternal, any non-GL team. And then, I don't know. Do you want to add anything about Sith Eternal or SLKR before we jump to the end of the list?
No, just we mentioned the defensive video. If you are fighting R9 Rays, you mentioned I think it was 13,000 offense Rays. They're out there. You will want lots of health on your C. Speed and offense isn't quite as important as we originally thought. Health on C. The Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, just pretty standard. I mean, I don't think there's a right and wrong way to run it. Just this variation here, I like it. It could beat Ray with Cat, which will sneak up on you if you're not careful. So this team is very, very good. Just so many turns. You try to cycle Kylo's turns as quickly as possible, build his ultimate. So
Now, I've got a very, very good assessment of the next GL. The answer is beat any team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this does assume Relic 9. I think you're pretty much there at Relic 8 as well, but especially at Relic 9. What is JML not beating from an offensive perspective?
I mean, basically, like at the highest level, people are devising teams just to try and stop Jedi Master Luke from beating it, right? So the people that are placing Vader and Kenobi, they're trying to kind of, JML proof it. Like, that's why you're seeing a lot of Padme.
Yeah.
That's why we suggested Padme for our Kenobi team here, is just because it does kind of slow down JML. So it's just, if your opponent's got R9 JML, they're going to get you. So there's nothing you can do about it. Just go ahead and you basically just exchange GLs. That's what you're doing. So very, very powerful team. Decent. If you can get Hermit Yoda in there and Shock T, very good banners as well. So
I think it's kind of goes without saying, but I'm curious if you feel the same way. But JML, without question, in my opinion, is the best Relic 9 character in the game.
Yeah, I would agree with. He was my first, and I think so. Just from difference from R8 to R9, he's definitely the most significant. Lord Vader's pretty good too, but JML is the bee's knees. So
he's the bee's knees. That's it. We're gonna quote that. That's gonna be on the thumbnail. Bee's knees, JML. You heard it here from Gom. All right, Gom. Man, so thank you so much for joining me for this list. Love having your perspective on this channel. Let me know what you guys think about our list. This isn't the hero to say all. You may use different teams on offense that we put on the defensive list, or put some of these teams on defense. This is just our two guys' opinions on the interwebs that are nerdy about Star Wars mobile games, right?
Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me.
All right, guys, go check out Gom stuff. Link down below in the description. We'll be back next month for some more top 10 squads. And as always, my brothers, don't forget.